everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's time for another Tuesday tip video. So during the month of November 2022, we've been talking about some unique ways to give the gift of gift cards or cash. I'm going to finish off this series with a really fun pop-up card. This one's going to be really different. When the recipient opens the card, pop goes the gift card. It's just a really unique and fun way to give the gift, like I said, of a gift card or cash. It's going to be a really easy project too. I'm excited to share it with you. So let's go get started. All right, let me show you the pop-up gift card holder. Look at that. It just pops. Don't you love that? See how it just stands up right inside there? Very fun way to give a gift card. We've got room to write our message here. It's a very easy project, and I'm excited to show you how. So let's talk about the supplies you need so you can create the Christmas version of my pop-up gift card. Hey, stick around to the end of the video. I've got a birthday version of this as well. So we're going to start here. I've got a piece. I'm going to be using soft succulent as my card base. 8.5 by 11. So standard piece of cardstock. We'll do some cutting on that here in a minute. I've got 3 pieces of evening evergreen. I have a 4 by 5 1/4, a 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and a 1 1/4 by 5. By the way, don't worry about writing down any of these measurements, guys. I've got a free download for you with all of those on there. So no need. We're going to get you covered with that. That's my evening evergreen. I'm going to be using the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper. Guys, it doesn't use a lot. I really like to conserve my Designer Series paper. So this piece is a 3 3/4 by 5. This one here is a 1 by 4 3/4. The last thing we need is just some basic white. So I have 2 identical pieces. These are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. This piece here, this is a 1.5 by 5. That's what we need. So we're going to start now, and we are going to cut on that 8.5 by 11 soft succulent. The first thing we want to do is we want to cut this in half. So with the 11 inches up at the top, I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 by 8.5, 2 equal size pieces. Let's take one of these, and we're going to score it in half at 4 1/4. So I have the 8.5 inch side up there at the top. Score at 4 1/4. That is my base. Now with this piece that's left over, we're going to do a little more cutting. So it's 5.5 by 8.5. I need a strip that's 5.5 by 1 inch. So I'll just take that to that 1 inch mark. There's my 1 by 5.5. I'll set that over there with my card base. And now we're going to do some scoring on what we have remaining here. Now, I'm going to keep that, this remaining 7.5 inches. We want to keep that up at the top. And here is our scoring. By the way, let's make sure that cutting blade is out of the way. We only want to score. We are going to score at 1.5 inches, 2 1/4 inches, 3 inches, and then 3 1/4 inch, 4.5, and 6. I know, lots of little scoring, but guys, that really goes pretty fast. Now that we have that scored, we're going to do one more little cut. All right, we're going to cut this down to 5 1/4. So we are literally just going to shave off 1/4 of an inch. Let's do some stamping on those 2 pieces of basic white. I'm using 2 stamp sets today. I'm going to use Christmas Season. I love this set. It actually has a matching set of dies I'm going to bring in here in a minute. But you notice there's no sentiments in this stamp set. So I brought in Christmas to Remember. You bring in your favorite Christmas sentiment, but I really liked the fonts in this one. And I thought it looked really nice with the Christmas Season stamp set. And I did mention the dies. And guys, prepare to be amazed. If you don't have these dies, this is an all year long die set. I'm telling you, first of all, look at all these labels. Fantastic. We have some leafy images here. You know, I love to save you guys money. And I love stamp sets that I can use all year long. Guys, many of these images here, they can be used all year long. Pine cone, I know that lends itself more to fall and winter, but don't put this stamp set away because there are some great images in this that you will be able to use, like I said, all year long. And of course, the matching dies to go with it. So here we go. Let's do that stamping, and we're going to start with the Christmas Season. I'm going to start with a Pear Pizzazz ink pad because that Pear Pizzazz is actually in my Designer Series paper. So I wanted to bring a little bit of that out. I'm going to actually, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to start with just one of these, and I'm going to stamp this. This is kind of the heavier leafy image. I'm not going to go all the way in that corner, and I'm just going to stamp it about right there. Do you love that kind of realistic look? It's got that shading all built in. Next, we're going to bring in Soft Succulent and another stamp. By the way, now you can see when I said that can be used all year long, I think you can see that now, right? Let's bring in the Soft Succulent, and we've got this just a kind of nice little leafy image. I'm going to go on either side of this image. Our last color is Evening Evergreen, and now let's add that deep, rich, wonderful winter green. And for that, I'm going to go all the way up in that corner. And you see, I'm just going to kind of fill in, while we have that Evening Evergreen ink out, I'm actually going to take, there's a stamp in here that has two kind of inside holly leaves. I want to stamp two of these. It doesn't matter where. We're going to die cut from the center of this. I told you I love to save cardstock. So rather than layer right on top of that, I'm going to do some die cutting from this so that I can utilize some of that cardstock. I'm going to grab that die. Look at that. It fits perfect. It's going to allow me to die cut two holly leaves at once. We're going to get those two. Then, of course, we're going to get these two. And there we go for holly leaves. Remember, don't throw this away. We're going to use this. I'm going to put a sentiment on this now. And I'm going to do that in Cherry Cobbler. So we'll stamp that kind of up here, over to the right, near the top. Doesn't it just look festive? Now we're going to take that remaining piece of basic white, and I'm just going to say Merry Christmas right there. That's where I'm going to write my message. We are going to set this off to the side. We had one more piece of basic white. You guys remember this one? This is going to be used on the front, and I got a trick for you. So since I have my Merry Christmas out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp Merry Christmas. I'm going to center it up from top to bottom, but I'm going to bring it over to the right-hand side. Since I have my Cherry Cobbler out, and you can see I just stamped those berries right there. Now I am going to bring in just a little scrap. And when I say scrap, I really mean it. I pulled this out of my trash can. So I'm just going to go ahead and die cut myself one set of these berries from that little scrap. And remember, we had those fantastic dies. That's going to make that super easy. So let's die cut this one. And that makes a great use of that scrap. Hey, how about we bring in some more Soft Succulent? And this stamp set also has a great set. I'm sure it's supposed to be snowflakes. But you know what? I thought it just made some great accents there to the front of my card. This is going to be the sentiment on the front. My friends, stamping done. I'm going to bring in my bone folder. We're going to be using that a lot in this project, but I'm going to go ahead and give my base a little score. And we are going to add those two stamped images. You notice the top goes up at the top, duh, but we want to adhere that up at the top. We don't want to center it. We want it to go up there at the top. And our Merry Christmas sentiment, we want that to be centered down here at the bottom. This middle part is all where our pop-up's going to sit. So let's go ahead and adhere these down. That's been adhered down. Now we're going to decorate the front. So you remember this kind of piece that we die cut from. Let's add that to the front. And as I said, we are going to cover up all our die cutting. No one will ever know. We're then going to take our designer series paper. I think you guessed where it's going to go. Yep, right on top so we can hide what we did. Remember our stamp sentiment? We're going to put that right here on the piece of Evening Evergreen. Remember, you had two pieces. One was a little bit wider. This is the one that was 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. We're going to center that up. That last one is going to go on the inside. We're going to add this here to the front of our card, wherever you want. If you wanted a little bit higher up, you could do that. I'm kind of a right in the center kind of gal, so let's add that right here. It's just going to line up with your Evening Evergreen that you laid down at the very beginning there. I've got adhesive on the back of my holly leaves, and you know we have these stamped ones here. I'm going to put these are the two larger ones. Oh, we'll kind of decide where we want them to go. I realize it's probably going to cover up a little bit of my berries, and that's okay. And then I'll take these last two, And I'm going to kind of fill in. I don't want it to hit my sentiment, of course. And now we're going to add those little extra berries. This one, we are just going to adhere right kind of on top. I'm going to go opposite of how I stamp just to kind of fill in. See how we're filling all that in? Let's add that. The front of our card is done. Now it's time to do the magic on the inside. So I'm going to set my card off to the side. If you've missed any of the measurements for the pop-up gift card holder, don't worry. I've got a free download for you with all your measurements, the supply list. There's even going to be a QR code. You can come back and watch the video if you need to. And if you need to order any of the supplies, that's on the download as well. Guys, it's very easy to find. You can just look down in the YouTube description for a direct link or head over to simplysimplestamping.com. Look for today's post with the pop-up gift card, and you'll find that free download there in my post for today. But are you ready to see how you're going to put that whole pop-up together? Yep, let me go show you. I'm going to bring in that 5 1/4 inch with all the score lines on it. All right, my friends, let's give all of these score lines a crease. I'm just going to go ahead and crease them all one way to kind of get things started. And then I'll show you how to create the little insert in the middle. But let's go ahead and crease everything. All right, we have something like that. Do you see this area that has all of these little 3/4 inch marks? Let's find the one in the middle, and that's the one that we're going to bring the opposite direction. All right, so I'm just going to fold this over, and I'll give it another score, a little crease with my bone folder. That's going to create that little pocket. All right, and really, once you start creating this and you see how it's coming together, it's going to make so much sense, I promise you. Now, we need to adhere this together. We need that to stay closed. You've got a couple options, but for this one, I'm actually going to use a little multi-purpose glue. Just a little here. It's going to kind of hold that together. Now, you want to be very aware of your gift card, of where it's going to go. So, kind of make sure you're not gluing where you're going to want that gift card to go. I'm just going to kind of hold that in place. I'm going to give that a pinch, allow that to set. By the way, you could also use your tear and tape here. You could use maybe about 4 mini glue dots on each side. That would work as well. But you can see that's going to allow my gift card to pop in and out right through there. And now to decorate that, we are going to come in and we're going to add the last piece of designer series paper, and that is going to go right here. Now we're ready to add this to our pop-up. And the reason I wanted you to go ahead and seal that together first, so you could kind of see how this is going to go together. All right, just like this. So obviously we want the pop-up to stand up. So that means this is the area that's going to show. All right, this area right here. So we're going to have panel, panel, pop-up, and panel. This is going to go right here on that second panel because these two are going to adhere down. So let's add this, just a little adhesive. And it just adds a nice little decor. You could stamp a sentiment on this. You could do really just about anything on that little area. Now we can add this to the inside of our card. So we're going to start with this panel here, and you can use your multi-purpose glue. You can use your stamp and seal, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and just use my seal. All right, paying attention to where that is. This is going to go on the bottom. All right, so I'm going to line that up right here. You notice it's 5 1/4, so there's going to be a little slosh on both ends, the right and the left. I want to make sure my card's going to close, and it is. That one's down. Now this panel, my friends, it's going to adhere right here, okay? You can either put the adhesive here or here, whichever is easiest for you. How about we do it over here just to shake things up? I will put the adhesive right here, making sure I get plenty. I'm going to line that up. Do you see how I just kind of folded it down? There's the edge. I'm lining it up in the crease. Fold it over. I'm not going to give it a hard press just yet. I want to make sure everything's working correctly. It is. Let's give that a press. There is my pop-up. Oh my goodness. We take our fabulous gift card. Want to make sure that glue is good and dry. That's going to pop right inside. And look at that. We've got a place to write the message. I know it's kind of sitting a little wonky for you guys, but when it sits up, that gift card is just smiling so pretty. Very easy to do. I told you I had another version for a birthday card. And let me show you this one. Oh my goodness, it's so bright and so pretty. I used the Hello Ladybug stamp set and that matching Ladybug Builder punch. That's a mouthful. And then, I'm sorry, that would be Biggest Wish to say happy birthday, and then a daisy punch. By the way, the leaves here on my daisy, that's the ladybug wings. Hey, why not? So we did that. I was able to punch my ladybug from what? Yep, that piece right back there. Was able to get my ladybug punched out. I'm going to point this out right here. Isn't this so sweet? I gave her some pearls. I want to show you how I did that. That is done with the pearlized effects. And I used the white one. It comes in a red and a silver and a white, comes as a pack. But that's what I did is I just add some little drops, let those dry. Yes, I smeared one. It's true. Because I tried to touch it too soon because I thought it was just so sweet. Don't touch it. Let it really sit and dry. Are you ready to see the inside? That is the inside of my card. Another little happy birthday. I added some daisies here. I even added one onto my gift card. Why not? It just comes right off. That's not going to be a problem for the recipient to just remove that. Again, that designer series paper, I used it here and I used it here. And that is another great way to create and share that pop-up card for a birthday. But of course, we've got Christmas covered, we've got birthday covered. But you know what? It's all about your creativity. What will you put inside this card? What will you decorate with? Your favorite designer series paper, and of course, your favorite sentiments. I hope that you guys are going to give the pop-up gift card a try. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, if you like the video, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, why not click that great big red subscribe button so YouTube can let you know whenever I'm back with a new video. I would love to have you here on the channel. Make it a fantastic day, my friends. Can't wait to stamp with you next time. Bye-bye.